Are you facing a challenge with a person at work? If so, the Enneagram can be a powerful tool to help you navigate a conflict or a challenge. And in today's session, we're going to focus in on the wings or the aligned types of your core type and how that informs you as you navigate a conflict or a challenge. In previous sessions, we helped you self-identify and determine your Enneagram type. And this will help you just understand your core traits and characteristics. And then in our last session, we really delved into the motivations behind each type in an effort to really help you understand yourself and other people, and the fact that not everyone shares your same underlying motivation. So in order to get us started, let's take a peek at the Enneagram diagram and look at our wings. But before we do so, let me just call out on apertureadvisory.com, if you haven't yet determined your type, there is a document in our shop where you can go through this process, or you can check out our other video on YouTube. Now, when you look at the Enneagram diagram, you can see that there are two numbers that align your respective type. So if you're a reformer, a 1, the two wings would be the 2 and the 9, for instance. If you're a 2, your wings would be the 1 and the 3. If you're a 3, it would be 2 and 4. If you're a 4, it would be 3 and 5. If you're a 5, a 4 and 6. If you're a 6, it would be 5 and 7. If you're a 7, it would be 6 and 8. And if you're an 8, it would be 7 and 9. So you have now pinned down the two numbers and the two types that align your core type. And as I pointed out in our first session, we went into some of those core traits and characteristics, but we also have started to uncover some of the core motivations behind each of the respective types. Now, when you think about the Enneagram and how it really can inform you in the world of work or even on a personal level, you can see that each wing has a benefit of creating balance for that core type. So if you are a 1, the reformer, for instance, you are counterbalanced through the helper and the peacemaker. As a reformer, you want to get things right. You want things to be accurate. You want to improve things. But in your effort to do so, people may see you as being judging or critical or, too perfectionistic. So counterbalance that with care and concern for others. Lean into that helper, or lean into that peacemaker type where you're collaborative and you're building consensus and you're trying to harmonize. Those two wings are really going to help you navigate the process and resolve the conflict if people are viewing you as being judgmental, for instance. Number 2, if you are the giver-helper, lean into the reformer and achiever to counterbalance your core type. The caregiver and helper, or excuse me, the giver and helper, type 2, needs the benefit sometimes of making sure that they're taking right action, that their ethics and boundaries are in place, and that they are achieving. They're not just getting muddled by the emotions and feelings of the team or the group, and that they are focused on the task at hand. Right now, you may be having an issue because someone doesn't feel like you're getting things done. You're getting too caught up in the feelings of what is going on. Maybe someone is questioning the underpinnings of what you're doing, and so you need to share your ethics and principles. Or maybe they are questioning the accuracy of your work. So you need to lean into your 1, the reformer, in order to be more accuracy oriented. If you are a 3, which is the achiever, you're going to benefit from the helper and individualist. Let's say, for instance, you're working on a project and one of your teammates is not seeing eye to eye with you. Well, maybe you need to reach out and say, look, I realize, I'm so focused on achieving and getting this done, but I really need to figure out how to be of more help with the team. What can I do to be of help and resolve this issue so we can keep this project moving? Or maybe you need to lean into your individualist type and really bring to the table a level of authenticity that the individualist likes to lean into, or meaning. Make sure everyone understands why you're doing what you're doing, not just that you are doing. Because sometimes the achiever's so caught up in that doing that they lose track of the people aspect, and they don't recognize their own just being for who they are. Now, if you are a 4, you are the individualist. And so the achiever and observer can really serve you well. The individual sometimes can get caught up in passions and emotions, or longing for something to be other than what it is. And so maybe you need to be more task oriented. Once again, get things done, have your project list at hand, prove to others that you are focused on action. Or maybe you need to be a little more analytical and not just so focused on the imaginary and creative world to create more counterbalance. If you're a 5, you could benefit probably from using your individualist and 6, the loyalist wings. The 5 is the observer, the very analytical type. Maybe you're being too reserved. Maybe you need to show a little bit more of the passion and emotion of the individualist, or maybe you need to be a little bit more skeptical, like the loyalist. Be a little bit more apt to think about the risks you're taking, and either be a higher risk taker or more risk averse. So if you're having an issue with a coworker or a supervisor, think about how you can employ your 2 wings to create more balance with your core type. If you're a 6, you are the loyalist, sometimes also known as the skeptic. So you have the 2 wings of the observer and the enthusiast. The observer can really help you dig in and get the research done so you can keep things moving along. You can step back and analyze without becoming too skeptical. And at the same time, the 7, the enthusiast, can help you be a little bit more adventurous, be open-minded and enthusiastic, and demonstrate some of the excitement that you bring to the table. So think about that conflict or that challenge with a coworker or a boss right now, or the issue at hand, and how you can use the observer and the enthusiast to counterbalance your tendency to really be skeptical, to step back and either be too risk-oriented or risk-averse. 7 is the enthusiast type. So the 2 wings would be the loyalist and the challenger. For the 7, sometimes they are so excited about so many things that they may lose their enthusiasm and get a little bit bored. So in order to stay the course, maybe that analytical skeptic, loyalist type apology can serve you well, just to kind of stay on task, to step back, look at what needs to be done, figure it out, take the risks that are needed to get to that finish line. Or perhaps you need to be leaning into your challenger wing, which would mean that perhaps you're having an issue with someone and you need to be a little bit more assertive. That challenger typology can really help you assert yourself. Maybe someone is being bullied in the group. The challenger is very protective, so they can serve you well there. So lean in to the loyalist and the challenger. And for most of us, we have a dominant wing, but the wings also help us create balance. So think of some of the best and healthiest traits of each of your two wings and how that helps you counterbalance your core type. Now, if you're an 8, you've got the enthusiast and the peacemaker working for you. So if you're that challenger, you're being assertive, you're trying to be protective, you're trying to get things done, control and command, you're not demonstrating too much patience for people's weaknesses or their inability to get things done, well, you may have to lean into your enthusiasm, to your sense of adventure, and get people excited about the adventure that you want to take them on, to take everybody with you down that road. And at the same time, maybe you're having an issue with collaboration or building consensus. So you're going to have to lean into that 9, the peacemaker, and help everybody build a better feeling about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Last but not least, if you're a 9, the peacemaker, you may have to lean into your 8, the challenger, or the reformer, to counterbalance the situation. Once again, that challenger is going to help you be more assertive. So if you're having an issue, deal with it directly, head on. Ask the person, hey, do we have an issue here? Is there something we need to resolve? Don't just step back and worry about being the harmonizer and just having everybody get along. Assert your voice and your concerns and the fact that you're picking up on something not being quite right. And then the reformer can help you too, because that keeps you focused on the highest of ideals. You're not only a peacemaker to keep things at peace, but you want to make sure that everybody is working against right action, that they're following the highest code of ethics, that they're trying to be accurate in their work and get things done efficiently, but at a standard of excellence that you aspire to. So in today's session, that was a very brief snapshot of the respective wings and how they can help you counterbalance your core type. So I really encourage you to think about a few exercises as I leave you today. First of all, think about and write down for yourself, what are your two wings from the list above? And do you feel like you're leaning towards one wing a little bit more than the other in the world of work? Maybe it's a little different in the home environment, but typically your dominant wing is a wing that is kind of serving you more on a regular basis and helping you counterbalance your core. So think about the insights that you have gained about who you are as a person so far and how this informs your actions and motivations. And I'd also like to have you think about, before you try to resolve the conflict or the challenge that you're facing at work, think about the outcome you're hoping to achieve. Go to the end result. If you do that, you're more apt to come up with a better strategy and set of tactics. Because oftentimes when we have a conflict or a challenge, we get very focused on being right. And in relationships, the relationship is more important than being right, typically. It really is. In the end, people are not going to say, oh, wow, he's so right. They're not going to have a feel good sentiment about somebody who's always trying to be right, but they are going to have a better feeling about any of the types on the Enneagram as they lean into the healthier characteristics and traits of their own type, but also those wings that create balance, that create a greater sense of peacefulness, that get tasks done, that help and show concern for others, that step back and observe and analyze, that demonstrate loyalty to the team and take necessary risks, but by looking carefully. By showing enthusiasm for what is happening, and being adventurous and showing everybody the great adventure you're all on. And challenging people to do their best, to face their own frailties and areas where they need to improve. That is a gift. And last but not least, creating peace, harmonizing, building consensus, and building a sense of collaboration. So I touched on each of the types and some of the great aspects of health that they bring to the table in the team. So remember, in your wings, don't judge others, don't judge yourself. Lean into the healthiest aspects of yourself, what motivates you, and use your wings as a methodology to counterbalance and achieve the end goal, the outcome that you have in mind. So if you want to get along better with that person, think about, what do I have to do in order to do that? Think about, do I need to get this project completed? What do I need to do in order to get that done? Now, I'm having an issue with loyalty in my team. People are talking behind one another's backs. There's bullying happening. What do I need to do, and what do I need to counterbalance in order to get to the outcome of collaboration, consensus, and a strong team? So thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe, comment, and visit our website, apertureadvisory.com, for staff training workshops, for our digital shop, and for a whole series of blogs that can be useful to you in the world of work. Thank you so much.